So I suggest we'll kick this off. Please make yourself comfortable. And I'm looking at my colleagues. That seems all be all right. So on behalf of LSE Cities and LSE Ideas, good evening and welcome to this evening event on Cities at War, Building Resilience of Ukrainian Cities. This is a hybrid event, so besides the colleagues here in the room, we have audience online, which we will also include later in our discussion. My name is Philipp. I'm the Exec Director of LSE Cities, a center at the LSE I run with my colleague Ricky Burdett. And we are honored today to have with us Oleksandr Senkevych, the mayor of Mykolaiv, and Volodymyr Shmatko, the mayor of Chortkiv. Chortkiv. Thank you very much. Chortkiv.
Yes. Chortkiv.
Thank you so much for helping. And the session tonight is co-moderated with my colleague Iryna. It's Ozymok, founder of the International Mayors Summit. And we have also two co-organizers. It is indeed the International Mayors Summit in Ukraine and the Ukraine-Moldova American Enterprise Fund. Now, tonight's event coincides with the LSE Ideas Ukraine Program Executive Education Initiative, where we have a whole group of politicians and policymakers, including our two mayors here in London at the LSE. And it's also coinciding with the second module of the LSE Executive Masters in Cities, and that's why you also have the beautiful backdrop here behind us. Now, before I hand over to our guests and Iryna, allow me to make a few opening remarks. So at LSE Cities, a research center here at the LSE, we have been researching cities, educating on global urbanization and city change, as well as closely working with city governments from around the world for over 2 decades. And for most of that journey, we were lucky enough not to have consider in-depth questions of war and peace and forms of city resilience that are directly connected to conflict and open warfare. And we're not alone with this relative peaceful context of urban engagement. Work on urbanization and development at UN Habitat and for the Habitat 3 process in the run-up of publishing also the UN's new urban agenda in 2016. Keep in mind, this is an agenda for a period of 20 years, focused on localizing the SDGs, implementing the Paris Agreement, on multi-level governance and participation, and it did not even mention the term war once. Now today, as Ukraine marks over 1,000 days in its fight for freedom, we're reminded of the extraordinary challenges faced by cities at war, and Ukrainian cities have borne the brunt of relentless missile attacks and in some cases complete destruction. Others have transformed into rear cities, providing refuge for internally displaced people, sheltering relocated businesses, and offering rehabilitation for veterans. But despite these challenges, Ukrainian cities have become symbols of strength, adaptability, and hope. Ukrainian mayors have navigated this complex reality. They are rebuilding the destructed, they are fostering community resilience, and envisioning a future where their cities thrive. And across Europe, new city networks were formed in support of partner cities in Ukraine. At a recent talk I gave to Ukrainian politicians and mayors on sustainable urban planning and development, I was asked about the resilience of urban compaction, the compact city model, and concentration policy in light of foreign aggressors. I could only acknowledge the challenge, realizing how much contemporary urbanism takes for granted. Now, inevitably, there's a lot to learn from the emergency governance which is emerging out of Ukrainian cities. And hopefully these will be lessons that can be employed in cities around the world in the context of relative peace and addressing complex challenges such as climate, health, energy crises, rather than open conflict. In terms of the procedure for tonight, we will have first 2 opening statements by the mayors that are with us. Then Iryna is going to moderate a quick exchange between our 2 colleagues here on the panel, But then we want to open it up for about 30 minutes for everyone who is online and in this room for questions, and hopefully we'll have a proactive engagement. For now, I want to hand over to Iryna to proceed with our first exchange. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having this small event, which is, I think, important. And some 6 months ago, you were here with the second group of Ukrainian participants within the framework of the Education for Victory program. And I remember how impressed I was by your lecture about urbanization, new urban agenda, sustainable development, and of course we were talking about decarbonization and connectivity. And I was thinking that these are topics that are very important for Ukraine, but these are topics that are so difficult to implement because they, as city officials, like as mayors, need first of all defend their cities and survive. And then think about the development. And I do believe that having very practical experience of Ukrainian mayors would just complement what you were teaching us, and what you working in different countries and different cities can learn also from this experience. We say that Ukraine was able to resist to Russian aggression because of also the efforts of Ukrainian citizens. Civicness played a big role in that, but also because of decentralization and the ability of local self-governance to organize it there. So I do believe that it will be extremely interesting and important to hear from both mayors, Mayor of Mykolaiv, Oleksandr Senkevych, the city that was really bombed very much, and that basically stopped the Russian aggression on the southern direction. And for instance, the water supply system was completely destroyed, so for them, their reality is very difficult. And even this night, there were additional attacks, and they basically never stopped. The city of Chortkiv on western Ukraine, which is a bit smaller, and but it plays a different role as a rare city, basically welcoming refugees from cities that are completely destroyed or severely damaged because they give them additional shelter. And as Mayor Volodymyr Shmatko often says, we don't even call people internally displaced people. Those are Ukrainians that just moved. They were forced to move. And they have a different profile now, welcoming citizens and welcoming, relocating businesses, Those who probably were in Mykolaiv, some of them might find it easy to continue, just to ensure this resilience in Chortkiv. So I really hope you will learn a lot. And what is important for us, I do believe a lot in city diplomacy. And I do believe that at local level, it's also important to to advocate for Ukraine at the city level, at the regional level, and then it goes to the state level. So we will start with the presentations. Maybe Mykolaiv will be first.
Okay. Will you open
the big screen? Yeah.
No,
it's Maya.
This is Chortkiv.
The other one? Not Chortkiv.
No, Chortkiv. No, this is a Chortkiv.
We need the other.
This is your presentation. We can go with it.
Okay. Oh, Mykolaiv.
Okay. Okay. Hello, dear participants. My name is Oleksandr Senkevych. I'm a mayor of the city of Mykolaiv. I was elected as a mayor in 2015 and re-elected in 2020. Before my mayorship, I was an IT entrepreneur. Now I work as a mayor in a city in a state of war. Well, first of all, I would like you to use the term war, but not a conflict, because we never conflicted with Russia. 85% of city citizens are Russian speaking. And actually, myself, I mean, me as a person, I talk to myself in Russian language. But in my public life, I use Ukrainian. That means that a lot of people review the Russian language as a native language, but we never had any conflicts in the city. But I want to tell you that all 100%, it's 179 civilians who were killed by Russian rockets were 100% Russian speaking. So when Putin says that he wants to protect Russian speaking people, he totally lies because he kills Russian speaking people, especially in the city of Mykolaiv. The city is really young. It was established in 1789, in the year of French Revolution, as a city wharf. Actually, all the biggest ships of Soviet Union, of Russian Empire, were built in the city of Mykolaiv. All the aircraft carriers, all of them. China has one of them, Liaoning Ha, which is also built in the city of Mykolaiv. The warship, the flagship of Russia that now feeds the fish in the Black Sea, Moskva, was also built in the city of Mykolaiv. So as you see, our city has the special position near the Black Sea, and we were the biggest wharf in the Soviet Union. After Soviet Union ruined, we became the second biggest port after the ports of Big Odessa, and our main, let's say, cargoes were like, we made 40% of bulk cargoes, which were grain, oil, fertilizers, clay, and so on. To get to the city of Mykolaiv, you can fly from London with a direct flight to Chisinau, and then it takes about 4 or 5 hours to get to the city of Mykolaiv by the car. Before the full-scale invasion, we had like officially registered almost 500,000 people. Actually, lived more than 500 people, 500,000 people. And in the worst time of the war, while the heavy bombardments in the June of 2022, we had something about 230,000 people. Then people started to come back. Now we have something about 430,000 people, including 50,000 people internally displaced person from the Mykolaiv region and Kherson region. Coming back to this map, you can see that the nearest regional center is Kherson. This city was occupied by Russians, and they moved to the city of Mykolaiv, where they were stopped, and then we pushed them back. They were in the middle between Kherson and Mykolaiv for 8 months, and then they moved behind the river, the biggest river in Ukraine, Dnipro, where they are now. Also, our port is now is not operating, and we don't do any cargoes because Russians occupied this part of Ukraine, and they occupy the Spit. Because of the occupation of the Spit, we are unable to move our ships through this place, and that's why they are blocked now in the port, and our port works as a dry port. So what were the main potentials? I mean, what the main directions for Mykolaiv growth potential? Universities. As soon as we were the shipbuilding capital of Soviet Union, we still have these engineering institutes, universities, which still produce engineers and software developers, like programmers. Actually, I have the degree in decision making, artificial intelligence, and I'm certified Microsoft ASP.NET C# specialist. But it was like many years ago. Industry and agriculture. As soon as we southern part of Ukraine, we made a lot of agriculture products processing, like oil and so on. And the logistics, because we, as I said, we were the second biggest port. Railway, the sea, the river, roads. And as soon as we started to develop our port potential, later you will see that we have different companies: United States, Bungie, Chinese Kovco, South Korea POSCO POSCO International, and so on. So a lot of people who were involved decided to come to the city and live their life in our city. Together with the war, we've got some very bad circumstances. Again, we can speak about the war not as about the conflict, but as a disaster. So when we review the war as something that can teach you what to do, so we need to review the thing as a disaster. So the war is a disaster. In our case, you see that the Russians on April 12th, 2022, after the occupation of Kherson, they decided to destroy pipes that brought us fresh water from the Dnieper River. Here you see the destroyed water infrastructure. Since that day, we never had drinking water in our pipes because we switched to the water source of the nearest river, Southbuk, which our city stays on, but we are unable to desalinize it because because of the closeness to the Black Sea, the water is salty, and we are unable with our cleaning facilities to do it. So we pump it, we clean it to the level of technical, but the only thing that you can drink it. So you have to go to the water spot. We made them like more than 250 together with our partners. We drilled boreholes, wells, and pumped the water from under the ground. Cleaned it with we are cleaning it with osmosis cleaning systems, and distribute it for free, so people can get the water for free. Go with the plastic bottles, refill them, bring them back home. Especially this is a disaster when you don't have any lights and you need to bring it like on a 9th or 15th floor. But we become stronger and more healthier and more fit. Today, at the nighttime, Russia attacked our electricity transportation stations, and we still the whole day we live without electricity. So that means that we need to provide people with the water. So we have like 4 hours where we turn on the diesel generators, like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, where people have to go and bring the water home, because all the water supply and heating supply, centralized heating supply, are depending on electricity because of the pumps. So what we do now is we are repairing this infrastructure just to run the technical water and heating till the end of the day. Altogether, we were more than 220 days under bombardments first year, and we decided to count how much money we lost. Actually, we made, before the war, we had a GIS system where we put all the data on the layers, because again, as an IT guy, I decided to gather all the data, and we created a GIS system where we put with the different layers, different kind of information, like land plots. When our city council votes for land rent or something, people can go on the website, see the city council session schedule, and see all the information, all the decisions. They can click and read the decision. They can click, and they will be followed to the GIS map, and there will be selected land plot for where city councilors make a decision. So we created another layer where we made damaged assets evaluation, and we had the number like 900 million euros. Actually, the number is bigger now because this presentation is old. But actually, it's even bigger because we evaluated only those assets that we had before, and then they had their own price. But actually, the old school has its price. But to build a new one after the old one is destroyed, it will be like 10 times more. So again, we view war not only as a disaster, but as a chance to our city to become better. So we review this war as a thing that will help us to rethink the future and the existence of our city. That's why we decided to create a new master plan for the recovery. We decided to go, let's say, from scratch, from the beginning, from idea, design, and then recovery. Together with Kharkiv city, another big city on the east of Ukraine, we are members, or not members, but we took part in the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe project, UN, for Ukrainian cities. And we work with Italian company One Works on a new master plan creation, One Works Foundation. Actually, Kharkiv works with Norman Foster Foundation. Yes, and we are competing. I think we are better now. I mean, we go forward, and they follow us. So the main thing is like master plan, then the city strategy, which is actually connected and really displayed on the master plan. We have a recovery plan, which is a document that we had to accept because of the new accepted law in Ukraine. And the same with a complex recovery program, which is like a schedule of the recovery plan. So all these 4 documents or 4, let's say, directions, which we do now, will be our plan on the city restoration after the end of the war. Some couple of words about master plan. So it covers different types of information like industry and innovation, culture and environmental, sustainable mobility, governance, and social aspects in community. You can get more information using this QR code. We are open to any ideas, and like sometimes people think, okay, I see here there is a good idea. So we are really open, and we're really will be happy if you have any ideas that can be implemented on our master plan. Here, for example, on this image, you can see our one of the oldest wharf. Actually, the city started from this place. And in a new master plan, we review it because it's in the center of the city. We review it to make it as a public space and let's say business district, because it's old-fashioned when the industrial objects are in the center of the city. Actually, there are many different stories around the world, like for example in Spanish Bilbao, where the shipbuilding plant were moved from the center of the city. We had a lot of information. Let's say Russia spent like billions of dollars to promote Ukraine as a state of corruption. They use their media and so on. They sponsored other media. Yes, we have these issues. We are creating new entities which work on that. We undercover those officials who work on the different corruption things. But as you remember, I mean, I don't remember any corruption scandals in Russia or Belarus. Does it mean that they don't have don't have any corruption? Yes, they are, and I think that this is fortunately our first #1 partner in this war, corruption in Russia, because the half of their tanks don't move, half of their tanks don't shoot. So what we do in this particular direction, we are working on changing the system. As an IT guy, as I told you before, I don't trust two people. So human are always under temptation. Even when we pray to God, we always ask God to protect us from the temptation. So we need to build systems. Actually, it's all about procedures and processes. So we were the first city which created an international aid monitoring website where we put all the information about all the help that we got since the beginning of full-scale invasion till today, with the information about how much we got, how much we spent, how much is left, where it is, and so on. Also, we improved our corruption reporting mechanisms to make them hidden, so people are able to report corruption cases without to be known as a public person or something. I mean, it's hidden, so you will be you can do it in secret. Also, we updated our procurement regulations because as a public entity, the main corruption things are connected to the procurement procedures. So we updated our procedures, and also we made an independent integrity assessment together with Deloitte, which made the biggest, let's say, on our biggest budget consumers, which are water supply, heating supply, and public transportation companies. They made the assessment, and we changed the procedures. And also today we had a city council session online, and we accepted the decision where we made a decision to have a supervisory board in our water supply company, just to make the process more transparent. So if you want to see the website, again, this is the first time in Ukraine where we want to make it pilot, and then we would like to scale it and to replicate it on other cities together with European Anti-Corruption Initiative. So, yeah. These are companies which work in the city of Mykolaiv. You can see well-known names. Q-Terminals just decided to take in concession a big part of our military port just before the full-scale invasion in 2021. Unfortunately, they have their project now as a frozen, but they review, and by the way, the management is from London. They have a UK management team. Our partners, well, first of all, I think we need to pay attention to the government of Kingdom of Denmark, because we have a unique cooperation, because the idea of country to city to region cooperation in our city, in our country, has the best practices, because other cities look how we cooperate with Denmark and other partners on recovery, on survival, and so on. So here you see different international organizations which we cooperate with and which we're proud. While the wartime, we also created different cooperation with cities around the world. Like as you see in United Kingdom, we have cooperation with St. Helier and Glasgow, where we signed last and this year. I mean, the previous and this year. So we are still in search of our common projects, cooperation, let's say, new cooperation directions. And I need to say that we are open not only for the hard projects, but also for the soft projects, for students' exchanges, cultural exchanges, and so on. Thank you for your attention. I will be happy to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
It looks very interesting on slides, but day-to-day work, it's much difficult. And quoting Mayor Senkevych, I would say that, like he mentioned, that there are 3 stages cities are living through: it's survival, stabilization, and restoration. And basically, they are all simultaneous. So that's really a hard task. With Mayor Shmatko, we were having an interview, like, when the war started and everyone were located to where they were, so at least we had a number of interviews, at least to know what to do, how to help. And we had an interview, and he said like, oh, okay, we didn't suffer about from Russians, so we probably really will concentrate on Ukrainians who come to our city. But then a few days later, they had 4 missiles directly to the civilian buildings, and lots of people suffered, So we say that there is no safe city in Ukraine, despite the fact that we consider there are regions. There are regions relatively safe. So, Pan Volodymyr, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
You will start from the video or
Yes,
from the
yes.
presentation? So we start
Video,
from
video, please. Yeah. Buradaki ekrandan.
No problem. No?
No.
Sorry. Okay, so we will probably after we will somehow distribute it, but maybe then we will start with come back to the presentation.
No, it's what it's showing on this screen.
That's
I just don't know why it's not showing on that screen because everything else that I've shown before has gone to that screen, directly to that screen.
Let me try it this way. 1 second.
Oh. Yes.
Yes.
Ale z początku.
Can we start from the beginning?
Okej. O, dużo powinno.
No, tak. Через трансляцию.
Hello, hello everyone. My name is Volodymyr Shmatko. I'm a mayor Chortkiv, it's Ternopil region, western part of West Ukraine. I'm first time I was elected mayor in 2015, and the next second 2020. But this is period is very difficult because we have COVID, and this time we have war. And my work every day, it's more emotion, very more emotion, but we stay because you and more countries with Ukraine. Thank you so much. Thank you to your support, personal and country, Great Britain, United Kingdom. Sorry, and today I have a presentation about my community. It's a small city, not town. It's city, but the best city in the world. And I'm very happy. I have and very like my work. Okay, city of Chortkiv is 7 village, and Chortkiv it's United Community. 37 citizens, 37,000 citizens. To 2,477 internally displaced persons. 14 education institutes, schools, college. Should give its district center adventures, geography and logistics location. Close to borders with Hungary, Poland, Romania, Slovakia, and Moldova. We have foreign businesses. It's international business. It's Cybernetics Ukraine. It's machinery industry. Belarus Ukraine is textile industry, and Kalina farming. It's agriculture industry. And the local business, Holsky Sweet Company. We see it's confectionery industry, agro product meat industry, and Chortkiv milk cheese industry. We have 11 sisters, international sister cities in Talsi, Latvia, Karlskrona, Sweden, Whitehorse, Canada, Poland, Zawadzkie, Korczyna, Leżajsk, Germany, Bad Münster, France, Béziers, Caravaggio, Italy, Groslupli, Slovenia, Oika, Hungary, Kaushane, Moldova. But we don't have sister city in United Kingdom. Maybe we can help.
Maybe London.
Maybe London. Thank
Why
you,
not?
sir. Good idea. Great. And in Ukraine, Тетіїв, Миргород, Тростянець, Первомайський, Голопристань, it's Kherson region, Голопристань today occupied, but we hope maybe in short future the city will first deoccupied. I will. And we have partnership funds and programs in the Europe, NEFCO and GIZ, you lead, Government of Mayors, FFP, European Union. It's just every day with I and my team have what we must work in future. What we have situation when more people's immigrated to Europe countries, more pupils after school emigrate to Lviv, Kiev, maybe European countries, and it's very big problem in Ukraine when small city not have peoples and war. This is situation very increased. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And but we must work, and I think we have good result in future. This is more information about information to time in Chortkiv. Since 3,450 Ukrainians during from first 3 months of the war, 151 children enrolled in schools and garden schools, and men and women mobilized for the war, 1,417. It's 4% of all. It's more. It's more companies and business in our cities have problem with this situation, but we understand. Have victory in short future is our plan, and 1,260 local residents left their jobs and departed. Its problem. Every day I have work communication with my citizens. Yes, it's, more people write me my message Viber, WhatsApp. Mr. Mayor, what happened? What we see here? Rockets, drone. It's problem. I see, but please not happen. And more questions to me. Why we not have electricity today? Well, electricity. I answered. Maybe we write information. Russian attacks to electricity systems. But we know. But why other peoples which live in center have electricity, but we not have? Because it's people live in center because some critical infrastructure. Yes, but it's not
Maybe I'll explain the context a bit. That so because of the attacks in many cities, there is electricity cuts, and if you travel to some cities, you can see that to ensure business function, for instance, those are city of generators. We call them, not like to have a small restaurant or like a kindergarten and others like function. Sometimes it's used. So people adapted to the state of war, but still it's still difficult because after 3 years of.
But communication every day is very important. It's very important. It's very, very, very difficult, but it's 12 June 2022. We have attacks from Crimea to Crimea to Chortkiv for caliber for rockets, but it's very important and value. People no dies, only injured, and 22 people. But we're very happy this result. But more partners from Europe or from world helping to our peoples. We see in this slide. We have a good project in reconstruction of our school school
Dormitory.
And 2 million euros, 1 million, and we building 44 apartments and 103 people from Ukrainians from East and South отримали received apartments. It's 5% of all, and 300,000 viewers we have our видатки local
Expenditures.
yes expenditures schools education schools and 1 million euros it's we support for the Ukrainian military from local budget. 3 post and 2 million euro funds reserved to those grants of Chortkiv City Council for community development during the war from 2022 to 2024. 11 sister cities and 9 solar power plants, 500,000 of euros construction of infrastructure for the Chortkiv West Industrial Park is our plan. Thank you for your support. Welcome to Chortkiv, and united we stand, divided we fall, and if we fall, we all fall together. Thank you. Okay. Everyone in English?
Yeah, so we understand that only together and with the support of each other there is a chance to fight the big enemy, a big evil. But I would like still like using my right of moderator. I will not abuse it a lot, knowing that you have also some questions. But I would like to ask a question, taking into account your reality and the need for immediate reconstruction and the need of long-term goals, which includes also green recovery, which includes requirements of international organizations, and how you manage to match both these immediate needs and long-term goals.
Well, again, we are planning a lot. We understand that some things should be done immediately. Like, for example, we were prepared for this winter because of the first winter we had like, for example, attack on our critical infrastructure, and for example, in a centralized heating system, we have like 2 providers of centralized heating. One of them is centralized heating plant, CHP, which actually generates the electricity, and it's like a single generation facility where which pumps the heat to the 40% of all the citizens that use centralized heating. And other enterprise has like 95 boiler house around the city, which hits for about 40 and for 60% of our city citizens that use centralized heating. And one of the rockets just destroyed the boiler house, for example. And what we've done is with that we brought mobile boiler houses, plugged it to the system, and like it's like a surgery on a beating heart, so we were heated the system with the mobile boilers. Meanwhile, we repaired the main boiler houses. So it took like a week, and we made it. And even people felt a little bit problems with the heating for maybe 1 day, maybe half day. So that's why we do a lot of these immediate things. We think how to prepare for different kinds of circumstances. For example, when Kherson was occupied, I made an order to drill these boreholes to prepare that they will switch us off the water source. Actually, it took like 4 months for them to understand that we bring water from that occupied territory, and they destroy it, and we had some time to prepare. So we try to think forward, and we try to build forward. I mean, we understand that it's very like fashionable term, build back better in Ukraine. So we think how to build better than we had. But in case of Mykolaiv, we need to think how to build forward, because all that infrastructure, all the things that we had, they are out of time, so we need to rebuild it from scratch and to use green technologies, to use renewable energy and so on, just to do it. So, and again, Ukraine is a very unique country if we speak about our food, about our culture, music, and clothes. But if we speak about our problems, they are really common for all other countries, and a lot of them were already resolved. So we don't need to invent the wheel. We just need to copy the ideas and implement them in our territory. This is what we do in the city of Mykolaiv. We just gathering information from different kind of professionals and listen them what to do, and we do it like because bad managers hire professionals and then tell them what to do.
So it's a great connection to my next question about those who you potentially hire to ensure this economic growth and rebuilding. We saw the statistics about population that left Mykolaiv then came back. We saw that 4% in Chortkiv, for instance, 4% of population are in the army, and sometimes they take people working in important enterprises and factories and companies. So, and usually globally cities compete for people. So how in these circumstances is it possible to compete for people, and if yes, how?
So, yes. Well, first of all, we have a competition. Like I was in 2 years ago in Augsburg, where we had a meeting, a reunion of Ukrainian German cities partners, and the mayor of Augsburg said that he really likes Ukrainian refugees. They are well educated. They want to have a work, not to get the money, but they want to have a work, and most important, they want to come back to Ukraine. And our people really want to come back, but it's really the Ukraine is a very big country. If on the east, where they have everyday bombardments, on the south, like Kherson, everyday under bombardments. In western part, like Uzhgorod, they don't even have curfew. So it's like the difference is significant. Yes, and from day to day, they have like rockets, maybe one in 6 months. And so our people are now outside because of Ukraine, because there is no safe place in Ukraine, even in the different territories, there is no safe place. So the rocket can get you anywhere. So I'm sure that the longer this war happens, the less people will come back, because people like seeds. They grow they put their roots in the land, and then it's really hard to bring them out, because they find a job, they find a place to live, they see opportunities, which sometimes better than in Ukraine with the same amount of efforts. So you just need to do the same that you've done in Ukraine and get even more. So, and I everywhere say that it's not a problem to repair those plants, smaller houses, roads, and pipes, but there will be a biggest challenge for us to bring people back and to grow our human capital capacity, because it's not about hard workers. I mean, the workers that have to work by hands, but actually it is. But the biggest problem will be managers that will have to manage all these processes. And we need to work on that too. That was the topic of our today's conversation in international affairs. Where we were?
FCDO.
Yeah, so that we need to be concentrated on the hard projects, but also on the soft project. We need to teach children, we need to teach youth, we need to have these universities exchanges, and what way we are competing with other cities. We don't have any competitions, because again, in Ukraine, like between Lviv and the city of Mykolaiv, there can't be any competition, because it's less safe with the same conditions. So.
But I would just add about Mykolaiv that I was surprised about the number of great people living there and working with international partners. So they didn't leave Mykolaiv, they didn't choose Lviv. So there are still something why they choose Mykolaiv. So.
Not too many of them, but we still have people who are interested. They're patriots, let's say. They are patriots of their land, and but the patriotism is not can be the only motivation for person to stay in the place. So yeah, thanks to our international partners, we are able to pay them appropriate salary just to keep them in the city of Mykolaiv.
I think, and I think we too think come back Ukrainians to my city or Ukraine. This is possible when peoples have peoples need jobs, security, and good wages. It's our plan. Maybe we have victory in January, February next year, and it's and our dream have result. Sorry.
Yeah, that still looks like a dream more.
Yeah.
Okay, we are open to your question. And when you ask them, please tell where are you from, because we understand that the people from different countries, it would be interesting to know.
And if I can ask our colleagues online, if you would like to join with video, just drop a quick message in the chat and we'll bring you here virtually into the room. Alternatively, just drop your comments or questions in the chat and we can cover them this way. So let's open this.
Please.
I thought it was interesting, the competition.
Who are you?
I'm Oleksandr Gomez, LSE City. So I thought it was interesting, the question about competition, but I want to know the opposite. How are you organizing within Ukraine between cities? Is there, because you've mentioned all these cities you connect outside Europe, are you connecting more internally and helping each other? Are you sharing data, sharing resources? You have a big university engineering. Are you sending people to help other cities from the university? Is there a kind of a better organization internally? Is that something that is happening?
Well, first of all, as you understand, we have a vertical connections through our state governments, through our state president, administration, and so on. But yes, we have also horizontal connections through the Association of the Cities of Ukraine, which both of us are members, and this is a very powerful tool of cooperation. Like, for example, in the first year of war, we had to prepare for the winter, and together with other cities. So we had like thousands of windows broken by explosions, and like hundreds of apartments which were empty. I mean, their citizens, their owners were out of the city, out of Ukraine, and someone had to close those windows. So Denmark purchased for us plywood. Our local municipal enterprises made all those cuts for this plywood, and I called to different. I mean, I made a call in a group of association of the cities, and they send us teams with these, cranes and so on. They came from all over Ukraine and brought people, and we organized them food and place to live in kindergartens. And they came and they started to, close these windows and broken apartments. And we also, like, for example, Lviv became a humanitarian hub because all the, let's say, humanitarian help went there, and from that place it came to us using internal, like, transportation and so on. So they brought trucks. They helped us, our teams, to sleep there and then come back to the city of Mykolaiv. So this internal cooperation was really tight and really successful. So we still have this, now we have a different kind of negotiation with the central, state power, state government, because they decided, as you understand, to get more taxes on the state level, to get more power because they want to centralize something. Some, even in a wartime, we are arguing with a state government, seeing some problems and give them some decisions how not to do any mistakes.
We have a question from online from Adam Thiel, the now deputy mayor from Philadelphia. And he's asking, what do our Ukrainian colleagues think will be the major challenges to cities' internal security and safety after peace is achieved?
Well, first of all, peace and victory in our case are different things. So in the end of the World War II, we had an aggressor who fell down, who lost the war. And we had countries that were attacked or invaded, won the war. And in that, like, very clear situation, everyone knew what to do. In our case, the win or the peace will be, we don't know how it will be in future, but as we see now, that part of our territory still will be occupied, and it will be maybe like a northern southern Korea or something. There are many of those, and yes, we need to think about our military potential for the future. We need to think how to be in a deep defense. We need to think how to make our cities resilient, independent, and defended from the Russian rockets. Because Russia won't disappear. We understand that Russia will be our neighbor till the end of Russia. Because as you know from the history, all the big empires never were destroyed from the outside. They were destroyed from the inside. And yes, we need to wait till Russia will be destroyed from the inside by their corruption and stupidity. So, but meanwhile, we need to prepare ourselves, and we need to have this help from our partners, such as United States, UK, because it's actually, this war is an example how you can act without any problems for you, like Russia. Because I mean, in 1945, there were the United Nations were created, and there was a new world order. Moreover, in 1998, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Russia and Ukraine, we signed a Budapest memorandum where we got rid of all our nuclear weapons.
30 years ago.
And you, I mean, UK, guarantee that you will help us to protect our territory. And now, like when I was in the United States and people asked me, what do you think about all these issues with the elections in the United States? Will they somehow play a role on the future of Ukraine? I said, we believe that United States is not a country of one person, but it is a country of system. And that system gave us a word that they will protect us. So what I'm trying to say that without a help of the Western civilization, I say Western civilization because this war is a war between two civilizations, between Western civilizations, which Ukraine wants to be part of, and Russianism, which is actually a new type of Nazism, because Russians don't view us as a separate nation. They just want to kill us, destroy us, to clean earth from Ukrainians. And as you see, these everyday bombardments of the rural area and homes of people who just slept in their houses and their apartments, it's just a proof of this. So I think we will need help of Western civilization to protect us, to protect these values, and to prove that the world order cannot be destroyed by some crazy guy who decided that he is a new empire gatherer.
Oleksandr, can I just follow up and just clarify? The question was really about the internal security. In addition, of course, to ensure safety at a larger scale. But are you anticipating sort of local social order that requires to be protected in a different way, or is it a return to what it used to be with your police and the local security apparatus?
We are very actively cooperate with the police and with the local military personnel. Well, first of all, multiplying the amount of cameras to control the situation. Moreover, we have these PDZ cameras on the biggest buildings of the city, and even with the nighttime, even the blackouts, we can find having these azimuths on two cameras. We can define the place where the rocket fell down by the explosion, like up to 5 meters. And Ukrainians are really well organized. Beginning of the war, chaos, panic. How many cases in the 500,000 city of Mykolaiv we had with this when they rob the shops and so on? How you call this?
Looting or robbery? Yeah.
Yeah, only 4 people were caught. Their trousers were put down, and they were let's say used with the scotch, put to the with a tape. They were put to the pillars. 4 people, and no more cases. Same in other cities. So some people decided that it's a time to do some bad stuff. But people were really organized. They started to patrol the city. They started to. So yes, we will have a lot of these issues with the weapon. We understand that after the end of the peace in Ukraine, we will have a lot of weapon, grenades, and so on, which will be brought to the. And we are now exploring and trying to understand what to do with that, how to make our internal security better, especially in cooperation with veterans, because veterans, it's not like, for example, United States veterans or in UK, because those are veterans who were in a different type parts of the world protecting some democratic values. It's like internal problem, because no one will ask the veteran why you visited Afghanistan, or no one will ask them why you defended us in Ukraine. So everyone will have respect to those people who defended the country. And in cooperation with them, we plan to get rid of these potential risks.
Um, Thank you, Mr. from Philadelphia, for your question. And after victory, we must have elections next year. It's president election, it's parliament election, and it's local government election. Ukraine is democracy country, but how? 8 or 9 million Ukrainians immigration in Europe and the world. It's problem, it's big problem, but we must because we democracy country. And I hope we next year we have elections only after victory, only when we can security to Ukrainians peoples. Thank you.
I would probably add one more thing, that the big challenge for the country where there will be, and there are a lot of veterans, injured people, but also civilians, like a mental health issue is something very new for us. And there is already the national campaign that is headed also by the First Lady of Ukraine. So we would need, I don't really connect it directly to internal security, but it's something that we really need to take into consideration and to have it at all level. Also, it will be related to the economy and how do people learn to work with all these groups in the society. That's something that we will need to take into consideration.
Thank you. Further questions in the room? There's another one online.
There is one here. Maybe
Yes,
we take
absolutely.
one.
Please,
Yuri.
if you move to the microphone so colleagues can hear you online and just press the button, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Yulia. I'm from EBRD and I'm Ukrainian myself. And it's a great honor to listen to you today. Very inspirational. I wanted to ask a question, firstly to Mr. Senkevych, but then over to you as well, because you shared your very interesting experience of setting up the supervisory board in Mykolaiv Canal, the water company, and carrying out this challenging anti-corruption and procurement reforms for the utilities in the city. I sit on the water sector coordination group with other donors, and I have to say that Mykolaiv is frequently quoted as a success story. All the donors that you mentioned today are really praising the work that has been done in the city, so congratulations on that. I would like to ask you what you have learned so far from this experience, because it's really difficult to do these reforms even in peacetime, let alone in wartime. So what is the most challenging thing for you right now doing this type of things? And for you as well, if you're considering similar changes in the governance of utilities, because for the investments to come in, this will be critical. Thank you.
Well, I need to put you in some context. Mykolaiv is the shipbuilding region. After we became an independent state, after became an independent state, we had a lot of pro-Russian people, because Russia, they were actually not pro-Russian, but pro-Soviet Union. Because while the Soviet Union times, we were really proud of our shipbuilding heritage and so on. And after Russia became a sovereign state, they decided to use a Soviet Union heritage as their own. As you remember, the anthem is a Soviet Union anthem. The logo is a star, which was the logo of the Soviet Union, and so on. So they used this heritage to tell the world that, guys, if you want to have all the stuff that you had in Soviet Union, you need to be with us. And it's not about actually. It's not about Soviet Union in the past because they never had jeans and Beatles, but more about the youth. And a lot of these people who were young at those times, they felt their connection with Russia. And I usually use the phrase of Al Capone, that bullet changes a lot in your head, even if it hits you in the butt. So, because after the first rockets that fell down in the city of Mykolaiv, we lost a lot of those people. But in our city, I was elected as a mayor, and together with me, from 54 city councillors, 26, it's half minus one, were elected of pro-Russian opposition bloc party, and they blocked a lot of my initiatives previous 5 years, my first term, and a lot of those initiatives that were just destroyed and blocked and so on. I can say that the wartime really speeded up all the reforms, because now even pro-Russian city councillors vote all those changes really fast, because they know that it can be, there could be problems. But actually, to be honest, these local authorities, city councillors, they were really good. I mean, in the wartime, we have these online city council sessions. They changed a lot. So we have this understanding, full understanding in the city council, and there are no. Actually, I was even impeached for 6 months by city council. Yes, in my previous term, and I came back by the court. So I mean, now we work as the one team, and I used the quote of my mother today earlier, that cockroaches don't like lights. So we need to to put as much light as we can to make all the procedures transparent, because as the more transparent we for our partners, the more feedback we get from them that they want to work with us. I hope this is the full answer for you. Thank you.
My answer, yes.
Okay.
My, we small city, yes, and UBR not work with small city is problem. We need money. We need big money because we have problem with water supply, with infrastructure, in social hospital. We have problems, more problems. More money from the local budget we send to army, to military, and we have problem with people which work in project. More young people migrate to some big city in Ukraine or some Europe, and we need to have with works in the big project. That's problem, but I hope we can we can.
Thank you very much. So we have one question not here, and I'm also reading out a question from Eric Spergmans from Riga in Latvia. While working on a new city plan, do you take into account new realities and implement them into your planning documents? For example, mandatory bomb shelters for newly constructed buildings, alternative sources of water supply. I would add also, are you decentralizing energy, considering the vulnerability of centralized energy provision and other maybe functions in the city which tended to be highly centralized? Let's take that, and then we'll have a final question need to round up.
Okay. So, well, first of all, our legislation has been changed. I mean, we don't only fight with Russia, we also try to live our life that we lived before the war. So the legislation has been changed. You won't be able to design the building and get the expertise on the documentation if you don't have any bombing shelters. So no more. And it's easier when you build the big buildings because you have to build these underground parkings and shelters. Are not too much complex decision from the idea of underground parking, but together with toilets and air conditioning and so on. So all that stuff is already in our legislation, and you won't be able to do it. As for resilience, electricity resilience, we do it now because we have different alternative electricity generation facilities, like for example gas pistons, which where we able to generate electricity using natural gas. It's more expensive, it's less green, but it's like a temporary decision. So again, our country exported electricity before the full-scale invasion. And we can speak about green transition, decarbonization, all that, very modern and expensive things. But if Russia destroys the most green type of energy, the hydroelectric station, which was built like 50 years ago, and now it worked as a, let's say, as a natural place where water stabilized and then aerated for us to drink it. So now they destroyed it totally. They blocked the atomic power station, nuclear power station, and put their arms there. So what they will do next, no one knows. So what I'm trying to say is that now we are trying to double or to triple all the sources of energy, as same with the water. So now we are bringing new pipes from the other place, from other river to the city of Mykolaiv. Now we changed our cleaning facilities, which will be able to clean any types of water. But the more clear source, the cheaper it will be for end user. So the more dirty, the more expensive. And we will be able to use that fresh water that we used before the full-scale invasion, then it will be cheaper. So,
Thank
but
you.
anyway, we'll be able to clean everything.
Volodymyr, anything to add from your end?
No.
Good. Mehmet, last question.
Very inspirational. Thanks so much. I am Mehmet from Turkey. Yes, I was wondering what was the biggest reason for hope for the people, and how did people change in your cities before the war and after the war? Do they trust more to each other or less?
Thank you. Very interesting question.
I don't think that they became more healthier. First of all, having this amount of stress, people become sick. And you know that in these countries like NATO countries where they have this cooperation with mental health for the veterans, we will have to deal with it not only with veterans, but with a lot of people who saw their relatives killed in the nearest apartment. For example, I care about one boy, not boy, but young man who survived and all his family was killed. So he now by himself. I mean, what will be in future with his, with him? I don't know. I mean, a lot of such situations, we will have problems with mental health, not only for military servants, but a lot of people will need this help. Well, same with physical disabilities. A lot of people lost their hands, legs, and so on. So I don't think that our country will divide like civilians and military personnel in this area. So, we will need to do it vice versa to keep them together for our children to remember why it happened, who made it, and why we have to be prepared any day, like this happens in South Korea or Israel or other countries that may face attack any day. I don't. Again, we never had conflicts inside our country. Neither language, no religion, no ethnic, nothing. So I mean, our country was like a multinational, cultural. I'm a Roman Catholic, by the way, but Orthodox Church is the main church in Ukraine. Yes. So I can go to and speak to Rebbe. They invite me to different kind of meetings, and I can be on a meeting which was created for the birthday of Prophet Muhammad, peace to him. So, and we never had any conflicts there. But anyway, we'll have problems with the people, and people are really tired. Because when you see these images on the TV, you just can click and switch the channel to the MTV or Cartoon Network and change the image. We can do it. And people still live in that stress, and they become angry. And sometimes they even forget who made it. They start to blame mayor. Why we don't have electricity for the second day? What are you doing there? Why are you doing this with us? And when I read it, I became mad. Then I understand that these people just are sick. They hurt, and they are looking for understanding, and they are trying to get the electricity or water or heating from those who they know. And this is the biggest problem. But still, we have this strong, nation spirit that we recently had this survey if we need to stay and fight or we need to agree for the peace on the rules of Russia, and the majority, like 70%, said that we need to fight. So yes, we will have, especially with the help of our partners who provide us with the weapon. But the biggest problem is that we are losing our main asset, the most expensive asset, our people. Because to build a rocket, you need like 3 months. To build a tank, you need half a year. To build something, some kind of weapons, to build a drone, you need like 4 hours. We build them. I mean, our municipal enterprise also builds the FPV drones. Yes, it's easy. I mean, it's cheap, it's easy, and it's effective. Yes, but to build a warrior, you need at least 18 years. In our case, even 25. So yeah, it's very expensive asset, and we are losing it every day. And this could be the matter for the end of the war.
I'm veteran. Yes, I'm officer Ukrainian Army, and I was at war in 2014 and 2015, 1 year and 3 months. And
which war?
which?
In the Eastern, before the current conflict, yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
before the full-scale invasion, because war in our country since 2014, when Russian soldiers were
10 years, 11 years. We have war,
guerrillas,
not 3 years, 3 years, 11 years. And I see more that it's very difficult. More Ukrainian soldiers and officers psychical, very difficult with yes, and we have after war, after victory, we have 1,500,000 veterans. Yes, and maybe 40,000 died. Ukrainian soldiers, maybe 50. It's more Ukrainians. It's very big problem. Psychology. It's very big, and more kids, more children's, and not have father, mothers. It's our
Responsibility.
responsibility there. But we strong because United Kingdom with us, and we win because we win together. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Iryna, I want to give you the last word in a moment. And also on this occasion already, thank you for arranging this very special, very important evening for us. I want to thank Oleksandr and Volodymyr for so openly sharing their stories. They are hard to take in for people even far away from what you experience on a daily basis. It's hard to imagine. It's important to listen and to share that experience. And it's also important to see the strong stories emerge, the stories that can give hope, even in a context that is peaceful, but at times at despair with our own institution, with our own problems, with statecraft and decision making. And I mean, I had so many additional questions, including maybe how it is even to run city government and the processes and how, and you alluded to this a bit, Oleksandr, when you said how at some point there's a degree of focus and then agreement which wasn't possible before. And that, of course, gives hope for contexts where we have not, we're not dealing with an aggressor like Russia, but we are dealing with incredibly entrenched, complex problems and challenges that need a different politics. And it can only be hoped that that level of focus will maybe translate. But thank you for everyone joining tonight. And Iryna, over to you.
Thank you so much. And I really wanted people from Philadelphia and from Riga and from Turkey and from UK and from many other countries to hear this real experience. And you know, mayor's role changed a lot because they are not only managing the cities, they are not only defending their cities, they are not only looking for financial support to rebuild. They are not only trying to keep these talents in Ukraine to help them to do this, but they became ambassadors for Ukraine's victory. And according to last data for rapid damage and needs assessment to rebuild, Ukraine needs 486 billion euro, but this report was published a year ago. A new one is coming in January or February from European Commission. So we will see probably much bigger figures because this year was terrible. And you know, we as Ukrainians and Ukrainian cities are dependent from external resources to rebuild. But as mayors always say, and I'm quoting them basically, you know, to minimize these expenditures, it's important to help Ukraine win the war as soon as possible, you know, not to spend money on this recovery, because as Oleksandr said, like the most important asset, we will not be able to buy it, to finance it, you know, because people, we cannot make them come back. I would also encourage more partnerships between cities, because that's as one of the instrument of soft power, you know, and there are great examples of great partnerships. And I would also want to strengthen, and you probably saw it, you know, that Ukrainian cities are not only asking for help, there is something they can offer, and they can offer innovations that we probably wouldn't even have if not the war, you know. So it's definitely sad and beneficial in the same time. So thank you for being the mayors who protect us and
pleasure.
develop.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And